Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is episode number 1257, and we get to start a new series. Remember, I love doing series because they help us to get deeper into a topic and so that we can exhaustively discuss it 360 degrees. If I can do this, by the way, it's easy for me to do it as an article. Have you ever seen those articles when they say 7 ways to increase your productivity, and then they give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? I can actually do that in the next 5 minutes and I'll leave you just like that. But a series will help me to break those 7 ways into 7 episodes, and each episode we go deeper into that particular way or that particular principle. So today we get to start a new series. This series is about injecting meaning into life. I'm going to be talking about 7 ways. Maybe 7 is a minimum, but 7 ways to inject meaning into your life or into our lives. This is a topic that is very close to my heart and to my spirit, and it came to my life at some point in time when I was feeling low and I was thinking, Lord Almighty, what's going on in my life? Midlife crisis, quarter life crisis, whatever it is. But there are ways we can be able to inject meaning into our lives. So stay tuned.
Welcome to the Life Signatures podcast with Lawrence Namale. Lawrence is a life coach, author, and keynote speaker who loves to tackle different topics on purpose, productivity, and resilience. His mission in life is to awaken all your boundless possibilities available in you. Life Signatures podcast is dedicated to bring to reality every single person who knows that deep down in their gut, there's got to be more to life than this. And now, here is your host, Lawrence Namale.
The author of the book Ecclesiastes starts this narration in a very interesting way. He says, meaningless, absolutely meaningless. Everything is meaningless. So meaningless, utterly meaningless. Imagine starting your book that way. That the world and everything in it is meaningless. The things that we are striving to do in life, it's meaningless. I normally say this, that this guy, by the time he was saying that everything is meaningless, probably he did not have purpose. If you do not have purpose in your life, if there is no meaning in your life, everything is meaningless. In fact, everything you try to bandwagon in your life, everything you try to acquire, this guy, he says he tried pleasure, he tried music, he tried food, he tried all these pleasures of this world that the mind will ask him to get. He went and he got, and he said at the end of the day it is meaningless. You know why? Because there is no purpose in that particular life. Wherever there is no purpose in life, it is always going to be meaningless. And so in the series, I want us to see how we can inject purpose and meaning into our lives. And you know why I'm saying that? It is possible. In fact, people do this a lot, by their droves, by their thousands, probably millions, across the entire globe. People can live their lives without meaning, by rot, just like a lion does, or like a rat does, or like a housefly does. No meaning whatsoever. From one day to another, the 1 month to another, 1 week to another, 1 year to 1 decade, until a life is done. What have you been doing? You've been doing things by rot, in a rut. You've been doing things because you've got to survive. You've got to wake up in the morning, take kids to school, pay bills. Wake up in the morning, take kids to school, pay bills, eat and sleep and pay bills and pay taxes. And by the time you're 69, that's all you've been doing in life. No meaning. It is possible. People do this a lot. Almost always when we feel low, stress and disillusion, there is an element of meaning of life being pronounced either in the moment or in totality of our lives. Meaning or lack of it thereof. It is interesting that the state of meaninglessness affects not just people who lack purpose, but even those with purpose, depending on certain contexts. We've just come out of a very long series where we've been talking about disillusionment in your purpose pursuit. When we live our lives answering this question, what's the meaning of life? We invariably get into the state of disillusionment where we are not fulfilled. This is notwithstanding that we have done quite a bit of things. We've amassed quite a bit of things. We've related, we've had life, so to speak, as it is. The meaning of life is what makes life worth living. But it is possible to live without this. It doesn't mean that you're going to be happy and joyous. You're just going to check. I paid the bills, check. I worked and I clocked, check. I'm okay with my debts, check. I have built that house, check. I have gone for that vacation, check. I have sired a boy or a girl, I'm having a family, check. It is possible to do these things by rote. It is possible to do these things just fulfilling, not even fulfilling all righteousness. You just find your father was doing this. He was waking up in the morning going to the garden to cultivate. Your mother was doing this. She was waking up in the morning preparing food for dad and taking it to the garden where he was cultivating. And then you do this for a few months, you harvest beans, and then you harvest maize. And then you repeat the same thing the following year. As a farmer, you repeat the same thing over and over again until you are dead. You pass on the baton to somebody else. But then when someone asks you, is that life worth living? You will easily tell them, what do you mean? Are you finding fulfillment in that kind of an existence? What you're doing is to put food on the table, really, to survive. What if that was not in the equation? What if the food was there, the clothes were there? What would it be worth a life for you? Where there is no meaning. You see, somewhere around 2020, during COVID, a young Ugandan girl took her life in bizarre circumstances. Exam results had come back, and apparently she didn't perform well. Either her parents, I don't know the story, but either her parents or her friends or her relatives made fun of her performance. And then she was like, this life is not worth living, and she took her life. It is probably safe to say that this girl felt like meaning in life is not there. It's removed because she had coalesced her meaning in life around her academics and her performance. So when that did not happen, this meaning, this reason for her existence, this reason for making life worthwhile was taken away from her, and she couldn't continue living. Life became meaningless to her. Have you ever considered how deep it is for someone to embrace death than to live? I don't know where they get the guts, but this is not, I'm not making fun of these people, but come to put yourself in their situation or in their feet, that someone takes their life, their very life, that they have juxtaposed between living and dying, and they choose to die. They choose death of which they don't know the finality, They don't know the destination. They don't know the next thing that happens after they are dead. They just think it's black. I mean, like when that beep in the hospital, teet, 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 goes, teet. That's the end of life. And there's nothing after it. Imagine taking yourself in that particular place, in that particular position, where you would rather embrace the nothingness, the non-existence of you, that you are not a memory, you are not nothing, you erase yourself. If possible, you just erase yourself from life. It will be because there was no meaning. I have never really considered taking my life, but I can tell you, many times I've wanted not to be alive. At every one of those instances, I didn't see meaning for life. I know you've been in such a situation sometime before. It is because there was no meaning in that particular life. So this is a subject that I want us to handle in the succeeding episodes, several episodes, maybe 10 or so. But I want us to handle how we can inject meaning into life. But before we can even start talking about how we can inject meaning into life, I want us to get the context right. I want us to form a good foundation for it, and then we can go full steam ahead. Tomorrow we go deeper into this. But until then, bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Life Signatures Radio. If you enjoyed today's show, subscribe to Life Signatures Radio on iTunes, Stitcher, or visit our website at lifesignatures.libsyn.com. Life Signatures Radio, fresh, clean, and inspiring.